Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year 2022. We thank God we made it. We crossed the river, we crossed the bridge, we crossed the light. We're here 2022. And we just want to say thank you to God for allowing us to see 2022 peacefully. So today, I just want to talk about insurance. That's why you see me here by myself. Because the thing is, sometimes when it's discussion, then there's some things that are lost in the discussion. So that's why I just wanted to be here today. So talk to you guys about insurance step by step. This is my first topic of the year. I chose insurance because insurance is very, very important. And the fact that something happened to me on the 24th, I was literally very, very sick, and I was rushed to the hospital as well. And I saw how scared my children were, and it just got me thinking. I started thinking, if anything had happened to me, God forbid, but things do happen. If anything had happened to me, what would have happened to my children? So I put myself in somebody else's situation, in a lot of people's situation. If that happens, what will happen to your children? And I thought, I talk about insurance. I do advise about insurance, but not enough. So somebody said, Lydia, you're not doing enough. So you need to do more and more and more. So that's why this year, 2022, my first topic is about insurance. So don't touch that button. Don't go anywhere, because I'm just going for a short break, little teeny break, and I'm coming back. Stay there, get a pen and a paper, take notes. Yeah.
Christian is a hard-working, focused young man who will go all lengths to achieve results. We have worked with him for some time now, and we will recommend him to anyone who wants to buy a land. If you want your valuations done on your land, he's the best man. If you need land title documents done for your company, I will recommend him to be the right person to do so. In the near future, if I want to buy a land again, I will go for Christian, and I recommend you to do same.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. And we are back. Okay. So today's just a total discussion just between me and you guys. Now, I see people insuring material stuff. People insure their phones. People insure the things in their houses, TV, washing machine, fridge. We insure all this material stuff. But we forget that if something happened to you, those things, no one will be there to pay for them. No one will pay for the insurance. If you're sick, you're bedridden, you are in the hospital, or you're dead, nobody's going to pay those things. Nobody's going to pay for them. But if you insure yourself first, especially things like, let's say, income protection, okay? So you're sick, you're injured, you're in an accident, you can't work, you're in the hospital, you're admitted. The bills still have to be paid. The insurances that you have for your phone and all these things, they still have to be paid for. So if you have insurance that you've protected yourself, then the insurance is still going to be paying you, and you'll be able to still pay for your bills. That we don't see it like that. We don't think of that. We don't reason like that. And Sometimes I don't want to say that we don't think or reason like that. It's because we don't know. I don't want to use the word that we are ignorant. It's because sometimes, or most of the times, it's because we don't know. That's why. And that's why today I'm here to help you reason. Or if you have questions as well, you can ask me questions, as many questions as you want. Why is this? Why is this? But I'm going to try and cover all insurance rules, do's, don'ts, and regulations. So first, in an African community, in a black community, I would say, I wouldn't say Africa because it's a black thing. 55.5, in fact, 60% of us have no insurance. Because culture-wise, yes, it wasn't in our culture. We didn't know about this. We are so used to Harambe community. People don't know what Harambe is. Harambe is when we come together and give community. Yes, that was then, and that was very, very good. But now things are really difficult. People are struggling financially. You don't expect people to do what they used to do before. I remember even when my sister came to this country, they did the Harambe thing. Those when people are traveling, people come together, people give money without even thinking, because things were not difficult. People were giving. It's a giving community. As black people, that's what we do. You don't have salt, you go to your neighbor, they give you salt, they give you tomato, they give you anything. But now, for even your neighbor to buy salt to give you, it's hard for them. So things are now we have to go get along with the way the world is changing. We have to change. We cannot live those years and say, but this is what we used to do. You can't live like that. So things are now changing. So now, we as black people are so used to, we hear a lot of generational curses, generational poverty. Why can't we change our narratives and change our thinking into generational wealth? It's time for us to now start thinking of generational wealth. Stop thinking of generational poverty, generational curses. Why is it that other communities have got the blueprint already, but we are still lacking behind in this? We've been conditioned to just think one way. We are still in the box. We don't want to come out of the box. It's our own responsibility to come out and change the next generation. And we have to do that. So that's why today I'm so passionate about this topic. And because I see what's happening in our community. I see a lot of people, if they've lost their lives. I see children struggling, people struggling to go to GoFundMe, or we have a lot of WhatsApp groups, and some people are also struggling to give. And because they can't give what they're either expected to give or what they would have wanted to give, they feel guilty because they can't give. And it's good for us to give, not out of duress. You give your 20 pounds and you know that, oh, I've given 20 pounds. This 20 pounds is just a top-up bonus. It's not what is going to bury this person. It's not, if you don't give this, the children will suffer, the children will struggle, this person will not be buried, or this person cannot be repatriated to whatever country they're from whatever country they're coming from. If Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, they can't be repatriated because the money is not enough. It shouldn't be like that. The money should just be a bonus to give the children. Oh, this is a little token from us as a Kenyan community or Mali community, whatever community we're from. Because this thing is happening in every black community. Every single community I talk to is the same thing. And we are tired. It's the same thing. And we are tired. We give, but we are tired. They are not tired because they don't want to give. They are tired because they are struggling themselves. And we expect so much out of people. But when we're living, we live, we eat out, we drink, we smoke, we party hard, we do all these things. Somebody buys a handbag of 2,000 pounds, shoes of 500 pounds, clothes, all these big things. And then when you die, it's now the responsibility of the community. You've left your children with zero. Guys, it's time to change that mindset. Don't you think? Don't you agree with me? It's time to change that mindset. We are driving cars for 10,000 pounds, living in big... And we don't have insurance for ourselves, that if I passed on, this thing will be left for my children. It's time for us to change that mentality and get the blueprint that this other community have and start building and creating generational wealth for our coming children. Now, I'll start with this first. Now, somebody has a property. I've met people who have mortgages. Probably you're watching as well. You're one of them. Someone has a mortgage, but they don't have insurance. I always say, seriously, and I'm not judging you, but I'm telling you that you need to insure that property. How can you have a mortgage and do not have insurance to protect your mortgage? So what if you pass on? What happens? The house will be taken. And you're saying that I have a mortgage for my children. It's not for your children, because if you pass on, or if you've been diagnosed with a critical illness and now you can't work to pay that mortgage, the house will be taken back with the bank. Because that's a loan. It's not your house. It's a loan. And that loan will be taken back. So you need to have a mortgage protection. You need to protect your mortgage at all costs. So if anything was to happen to you, the mortgage is protected. Now, if you're taking a mortgage as well, you need to understand something called inheritance tax. The threshold of inheritance tax is 310,000. So if your mortgage is more than that, you are also entitled to pay 40% inheritance tax if anything was to happen to you. Do you have that as insurance? Do you have that money somewhere that if you passed on, your children will just pay? And it's the value of the property, not what is left, but the value of a property. Do you have that? A lot of people normally tell me no. So what if anything happens to you? So guys, we need to change our mentality. We need to think of the generational wealth that we're going to leave behind for our children. Now, I have, and then somebody also tells me, oh, I have a house, maybe in Kenya. I'll talk more about Kenya because that's where I come from. But every community, every single person that I talk to from different communities, there's the same thing. I even spoke to somebody from Pakistan. He told me the same thing, and I was like, hey, so it's a worldwide thing. It's a global thing. It's not just an African thing, but mostly in black community. Now, most of them, not all of them, some black people in black community have got the blueprint and they have it. But some of us are still struggling with that reality. Now, somebody says they have, they're paying for a house. Let's say off-plan house, for example. I'll call Harry Homes because Harry Homes does a lot of off-plans. So if you're a Kenyan or somebody and you want to invest in Kenya, look out for Harry Homes. Now, you're doing something called off-plan, okay? Your off-plan is 2 years, 5 years, 1 year. I don't know how many years you want to go for. You're paying for it and you're happily telling me, oh yeah, I have this property, I'm paying for it, but you don't have insurance for that property. So what if something happens to you within those 2 years? So you've paid for 1 year, you only have 1 year left, or you've paid for 1 year, 6 months, you only have 6 months left, and then you passed on. What will happen? They're not giving you the money back. You don't have insurance for your children to now pay for the balance of 6 months that was left. You don't have that money. Because you were paying every month. You were paying maybe only 500 every month because that's what you can afford. 500 every month, or 2 or 1. Now you've passed on, you've left maybe 15,000 left to pay. Only 15 or 20 or 25. That money is going down the drain because they're not going to give you your money back because that wasn't the plan. You've signed the contract. The contract is you have to finish paying before you get the house. If you pass on before paying for it, that's it. But if you have insurance and then you passed on and you left some months still left, that insurance can pay for that your property that you're paying for. And voila, the reason why you are paying for that property is either for your children or for whoever you are paying for. They'll still get the house. It won't be taken from them. So guys, you need to think again about that. Let's change the mindset. Let's change it. Now, I've met somebody who tells me, yeah, I have a plan. Investment. Good. I always say investment is the best thing you can do. There's investment, there's savings. Brilliant. The only problem between investment, saving, and insurance is time. Time. How much time do you think you have? How much time do you have? Do you know if you'll be here tomorrow? Do you know if you'll be here the next second of your life? Do you know if you'll be here for 2 years, 10 years? So you tell me, oh, I'm building a big empire somewhere for 2 years, for 1 year, for whatever years. I have a plan for. Yes, you have a plan. That is good to have a plan. It's good to invest 100%. I'm investing myself. It's good to save 100%. I'm saving myself. But time is what stands between insurance, investment, and saving. Time. What do I mean by time? Now, we don't know how much time we have. But the good thing with insurance, the minute you insure yourself, and you can take this in the bank and say, Lydia, say this. The minute you insure yourself, you're covered. So if you insure yourself today, now let's start with the investment. You're investing in a property, and that investment within 2 years, you finish paying for it. And that's your property forever. Beautiful. Okay? And we know property, the minute you start paying for your property, it goes up. So that's a proper investment. You're also saving. You've given yourself a time frame, a time limit, and say, okay, within 1 year, I want to have saved £10,000 because this is what I want to do with this £10,000. Good. Now, you've started paying for this thing. In 2 days' time, you're gone. You've lost. Your plan B and C is gone. But your plan A, which is insurance, because you covered yourself today, 2 days later you pass on, they will still pay you. And that's why I say insurance is my plan A. Because now once you have your plan A there, that's good. So you know what plan A is done. If anything happens to me, which I don't want it to happen, but things do happen, guys. Please wake up and smell the coffee. Things do happen to Christians, non-Christians, sinners, non-sinners. It doesn't matter who you are. Things do happen. So if you have your plan A, which is insurance, you've sorted it out. Done. Now plan B and C comes in. So if God has given you more life, thank you, Jesus, for your plan B and C to work out, great. But if it doesn't, you have plan A, which is insurance. Guys, let's think about that again. Change our mindset. Just think about it. I'm not saying 100%. Just think about it. Okay, now we finished talking about that. So now I'm coming to insurance. How cheap is insurance? Some people will say, oh, but insurance is expensive, blah, blah, blah. No, insurance is not expensive. In fact, I wrote it down here. So just to count it for you, people who drink coffee. So I was even laughing today with my daughter. I was calculating it. She said, what? Can you do that per year? I also did it per year. Now, if you're somebody who likes coffee like I do, I love coffee, but the only thing I don't buy it, I make it myself. There are people who buy coffee either twice a day, but I don't want to calculate it twice. I only want to calculate it once a day, okay? Now, there's cigarette as well. There's alcohol in there. There's all these other things, but that is, in Swahili, we say stare ya mamba na ya punda ni tofauti. So whatever makes you happy, go for it, okay? So now, a coffee a day is £3 per day, one coffee. Let's say you drink only one, you're going to work 5 days a week. You've spent £3 every day. That's £15 per week for coffee. That £15 per week, if you put that £15 per month, so £3 a day, £15 a week, per month is £60 per month for coffee. So £60 per month for coffee. Do you know what you can cover yourself with that? A lot. You can cover yourself a lot with £60 a month. Now, even just cut that £60 and say, okay, £30, I want to put it in insurance. That's still a lot of money, £30 every month to pay for your insurance. It's still a lot of money. And the things that determine, we have 5 factors that will determine how much you're paying for your insurance. 1 is your age. The more older you are, the more money you'll pay for your insurance. That is why I'm always advising you guys, I'm also advising my people, take insurance when you're younger, or take it out for your children when they are younger. Insurance starts from 18 years. You can take insurance between 18 years and 80 years. So if your child is over 18, you can take insurance for them for their future. Even take insurance for them up to the age of 70. It's cheaper the younger they are. So number 1 factor determines how much you're going to pay for your insurance is age. 2, lifestyle. Lifestyle, number 1, BMI. if your BMI is, if you're heavy, if your BMI is big, forget it. Your insurance is going to be so much expensive. And also if you're a smoker, so that's a lifestyle. So that's number 2 factor. Number 3, medical issues. So if you have any medical issues, it's going to affect your insurance as well. Number 4, your term. Term means how long do you want this insurance for? Do you want to be covered for 15 years? Or you want to be covered for 30 years. So if you tell somebody I want to be covered for 15 years, of course your insurance is going to be less. But if you say you want to be covered for 30 years, your insurance is going to be more. You're going to pay more money. And then number 5 is sum assured. Somebody tells me, well, I want insurance, but I only want, if I was to pass on, I want 200,000. And somebody said, I want 1 million. The person who is going to get 200 is going to pay less. The person who wants 1 million is going to pay more. So you cannot compare yourself with someone else and say, oh, but Lydia, why is that person paying 20 pounds and you want me to pay 50 pounds or 60 pounds? It's because of these 5 factors. You can never be the same with anybody else unless maybe you're twins and everything is the same. Your age is the same. Your lifestyle is the same. Your medical issue is the same. You want the same term and you want the same sum assured. Probably you can be paying the same money. Otherwise, you cannot be paying the same money. It has to be different. Okay, so that is what we've spoken about there as well. And now, I'm going to talk about different types of insurance. Okay, some people will say, oh, but I just don't want to get insurance when I'm only dead. But you're living for your children. Some people say, oh, my parents did not leave anything for me, so I don't want to leave anything for your children. Did your parents live in the UK? So why are you in the UK? You could have still stayed home in the village where you were brought up, or in the city. I was born in Isili. I could have still stayed there. If you just want to live the same way your parents lived, so you don't need to change anything. Stay there and live the same way. No, you didn't. You've changed your lifestyle. So the same way you've changed your lifestyle, you need to change things. Change things for your own children. Don't bring up your children the same way and say, oh, but my parents did this to me. Oh, my children will waste the money. That is what we've been conditioned to think. My children will waste the money if I'm gone. Why don't you train them then? Teach them how to invest, what to do with money so they don't waste. It's up to you. For you to even say that is a shame, because that means that you've not even trained your children well. So you need to train them and know that, okay, if I'm gone, this is what my children will do with this money. Okay, now, life insurance. So we do have, different types of insurance. We do have life insurance. Now, what is life insurance? Somebody will ask me. Life insurance has a term. It's either it lasts for 15 years, 20 years. The maximum term of life insurance is 90 years. So you pay insurance until the age of 90. So, and then it expires. So if you die at the age of 91, you are not covered. So there's a term. So people will tell me, oh, but I have life insurance. Oh, it's forever. They told me it's forever. No, my friend. You did not read the blueprint. Maximum is 90. And insurance, life insurance pays 2 ways. Life insurance will pay you if you pass on. So it will pay your family, of course. And it will leave inheritance for your children. Or life insurance also pays if you're terminally ill. Now, people confuse terminal illness and critical illness. There's a difference. Now, terminal illness is when the doctor tells you that you have 12 months to live. That's terminal illness. So if you're terminally ill, they'll give you the money. So you use the money before you die. Or if you die as well, they'll give you the money. So that's insurance pays out only in those 2 conditions. That's life insurance. Now, there's life insurance for you as an individual. There's life insurance for you, your husband and your wife together as a couple. Or there's also life insurance for you and your children. Okay? So if you take it with your children, it doesn't matter how many children you have, 10 or 1, the price is still the same. Because it's just one price that covers all the children. Now, the children, when they're covered, if a child was to pass on, the family will be given £10,000 for funeral cover, because they know that 10,000 is how much funeral costs for, especially for children. If a child was to be diagnosed with a terminal illness again, which is 12 months to live, the parents again will be given 10,000 for a funeral plan. If a child was to be diagnosed with a critical illness, things like liver failure, kidney failure, heart attack, cancer. So if a child was to be diagnosed with a critical illness, it's 25,000 that will be given to the family just to, maybe you want to take your child to a different country for treatment, or you want to take your child to a private hospital, or you stay home and look after your child, that means you won't be going to work. So this 25K can actually help with the bills in the house. So that is life insurance if you take it with the children. So with the children, it covers 3 things: critical illness, terminal illness, and life. With you as an adult, a policy holder, it covers you only for terminal illness and life. So that is life insurance. Now we go to critical illness. Now critical illness, again, if you take it, it covers you and your children. But now it only covers you for critical illness. These are totally different policies. Life is a different product. Critical illness is a different product. So they're not together. They're totally different. So now critical illness, again, covers you and your children if you have children, or you can decide to take it you and your husband or you and your wife. Also, critical illness covers you on critical illnesses, things like cancer, stage 2, from stage 2 and above, no stage 1, heart attack, stroke, if you're in the hospital more than 7 days, in a coma though, you have to be in a coma for more than 7 days, that's critical. Kidney failure, liver failure, 3rd-degree burns, maybe you've had an accident and your leg is gone or your hand is gone, all those things, multiple sclerosis. There are so many things that different companies classify or clarify down as critical illnesses. Some companies go up to 48 different illnesses or diseases. Some of them have up to 178. Some of them have 50. Some of them have, they're all different how they classify or categorize all these critical illnesses. Okay, so that's critical illness. So if you have a critical illness, again, they'll give you lump sum of either your 1 year annual salary, 2 years annual salary. Some people can even afford up to five years their annual salary to be paying, because it depends with how much money you pay. That's what will determine how much money will be given if you are to be diagnosed with a critical illness. Now, somebody will tell me, oh, but NHS is free. Of course, NHS is free, but NHS is not going to pay for your bills. NHS is not going to, if there is a medication that is so expensive, NHS cannot even give you that. How are you going to buy for it? How are you going to buy it? Now, there's also this, they'll tell you, oh, wait, we're doing this. If you have money, you can take that money, go to a private hospital, or you can take that money and go to a different country for your own treatment. Or you can, because now you've been diagnosed with a critical illness, you know that probably you stay in the house for 4 years, 3 years. Who knows? I won't be able to work again. That money can also help you towards your bills. So that is critical illness. So that is something that they'll give you before you die. Those people who say, I just don't want money. If I'm dead, it won't help me. With critical illness, you can get your money. You're still alive. Now, we have another one also called income protection. That's the one I love the most. Now, income protection is to protect your income from if you're sick, you're injured, or you're in an accident. It does not give you because you're fired, you're made redundant, or you are rude to your boss and you fired yourself because I have income protection. Nah. It only covers you if you're sick, you're injured, or you're in an accident. That is income protection. Now, it covers you from 60 to 65% of your earnings. Somebody will say, oh, that's not enough. That is money that you didn't have. That is money that you cannot just sit in the house and get. The government will give you probably £87 a week, or is it 80 or 90 a week? What is that? That is not even enough to pay your rent. It's not enough to pay your bills. It's not enough to cater for your family. It's not enough. So if they're giving you up to 60 to 60% of your earnings until you get better and go back to work, wow. I'll take that in a blink of an eye. Yeah, blink. Yeah, blink of an eye. I'll take that. Income protection. It protects your income up to 60 to 65%. Now, if you're 50 and under, it's very easier for you to get income protection. 50 to 60, there's so much medical things that have to be done because you're older. From 60 years, you're not even allowed to take income protection. So my friends, you better take your income protection when you're still younger. Okay? So that is income protection. Now we are going to relevant life. Now, relevant life is people who have businesses. If you have company, a limited company by guarantee, relevant life is the best for you to have. A lot of people don't know that there's this service. Relevant life, it pays for your critical illness and it pays for your life insurance up to the age of 75. But every year when you're doing your taxes, you claim that money back. So it's like you're paying for insurance. Somebody's paying for your insurance because every year you claim that money back. That's called relevant life, only for people with business. So if you have business, guys, it's time to start running to get insurance if you don't have. You can get insurance for all the people that are working for you. That's why you see a lot of companies, people say, oh, my company is paying for me. A lot of companies are paying for their workers because every year they claim that money back. So if you have your workers, that can actually be a unique selling point for you. If you want workers, you can say, you know what, we are paying for your insurance. So if you're critically ill or if you pass on, there's money to be paid to you and your family. So guys, relevant life, if you have business, think about that. And then now we have private medical cover. My own boss, and he will come, he was meant to come last week, but last week we couldn't come because everybody was sick. And right now he actually has COVID as well. But he has cancer. And he'll come here one day to talk to you about that. When he got cancer, he didn't know that it was cancer. And if he didn't have private, I'm sure by now probably will have gone. Because he went to NHS and they told him, oh, they gave him a 3 months wait. But because he had private, he called his private and they told him to come in the next day. When he went, they did all the tests and they found out that he had cancer. So imagine if he had waited for all those 3 months, that could have just grown into something else. But now he's under treatment. Last week, he was counting all the money that he has spent in this private hospital. It's total to £60,000. But all that £60,000, he's not paying for it because he has private medical. The medication that he's been given in private, some medication, then they don't even have it in NHS. Right now I'm talking to you guys, there's 4.3 million, and you can go and check that out. 4.3 million waiting list on minor surgeries. If even fibroids, somebody's waiting for 6 months, somebody's waiting for 9 months. While you wait, what is happening to you at that time? But if you have private medical, there's no waiting list for you. Immediately, you're going to be seen. If it's a surgery, you're going to have a surgery ASAP. Just think about that. Think of the coffee that I just gave you. Think of that coffee and then think of insurance. Think of all the things that you buy here and there, all the money you spend that cannot even help you. And then think of private medical. Think of life insurance. Think of critical illness. Think of your income protection. All these insurances, people who don't want to take insurance, there's so many excuses. All this is insurance is either excuses or priority. There's somebody who give you an excuse or probably is a misplaced priority. And, oh, I don't want to do it because I don't have money, or maybe, and if you start looking at how much you spend, how much takeaways, everything, there's so much money being spent every month that you can just take half or just little of that money and put it in insurance. That will really help. So just think about that. Just think about that. And then somebody asked me, can anyone or everybody get insurance? Of course, anyone and anybody can get insurance. Now, the only difference is payment. Okay. Now, let's say, for instance, somebody is younger and they take insurance when they're still young, and their annual payment probably is 35K. Okay. And if they have their income protection, just going back to the income protection, because I just saw the notes that I wrote here. So I give you the figure. If they're getting 35K, they're 30 years and under, 30 and under, they're getting 35K, because we have people who get 35K from 25 years, 30, depending with what you're doing. If they protect that for 22, they'll get 22,750. annual income instead of 35. That's still a lot of money. If they and that money, they can spend it to pay the insurance, they can spend it to pay their mortgage, they can spend it to get to spend whatever they want. But if you're over 40 as well, if you have 35K, you still get 22,750, but you're going to pay more money every month for your premiums. Now, going back to somebody asking me if everybody can get insurance. Of course, everybody can get, anybody can get, but you're going to pay more. Okay? So again, somebody who is over 50, and I'm sure you've seen these adverts being said over 50 plus, you can pay from £5 or £10. And somebody, I was doing insurance for somebody the other day, and I gave them a quote of, I think I gave them £45. And they're like, oh, but Lydia, you see this advert? Forget. When you see those adverts, they have not put into consideration the 5 factors I spoke about: your age, your lifestyle, your medical, the term, and the sum assured. Those 5 things, they've not factored it in. So how can somebody just tell you you're going to pay £5, you're going to pay £10, and they don't even know anything about you? That is why they say from. And then when they're talking about from, that's probably you are 20 years old, you don't smoke, your BMI is very good, okay? Your sum assured is less money, your term is probably just 15 years they're going to give you. All the 5 factors you've passed, and your term assured is less, your sum assured is less, then you can pay £10. But don't come and tell me, oh, you want 500,000, 100,000 critical illness, your BMI is big, you have medical issue, you're smoking, you're older, you're much older, and pay £45. That can't happen. But the good thing is, we cater every time we're doing insurance, we cater it according to your needs and affordability. The first thing I'll ask my client is, do you have children? Right? So I know, because I want to see what are the needs. So do you have children? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have any medical? What's your height and weight? So once I have all this, and what's your annual income as well? Because I need to know their annual income. Because if they're getting 25K, I can't now say, oh, you need to pay £100 every month for your insurance. Nah, because I have to also balance if they're getting 25K, and then I want to see your expenses as well. So according to your expenses, according to your needs and your affordability, we cater the right policy for you. So every single person can get insurance. According to your needs and affordability, we can give everybody insurance. Now, over 50 plus. What over 50 plus does, they do not check for your medical. They don't check for your lifestyle. They don't check for anything. All they check is your age. Now, if you're 50 and you have medical, and somebody else is 65 and they have the same medical, you all have all the same issues, you're smoking, you're this, they don't care about that. But they'll look at it and say, okay, if you're paying £20, we are only going to give you 6,000. They don't give a lot of money. They give less money, really, really less, from 5,000 to maybe 15, from 5,000 to 20,000, according to how much you're going to pay and according to your age. But no medical, no lifestyle, all those things are not checked if you're under 50, if you're over 50. So it's good for over 50, but it's really, really less money they give, not a lot, really less. But at least you have something. At least there's something they're giving. So it's not like there's nothing. At least there's something. So that's over 50 plus. So you see, everybody can get insurance. Now, if you're under 50 and your BMI is high, you have medical, you have all these things, they can still give insurance. But now what they're going to do something called moratorium, which I don't really like. But at least you still have insurance. They are going to exclude everything you have. So now, so let's say you have diabetes, you have high blood pressure, you have, your BMI is high, you're smoking, you're doing all this. Your insurance will be very, very high because of all these factors. It's going to be very, very high. But they're going to exclude what you have. But at least you still have insurance. So that's what I was saying, that everybody and anybody can get insurance. But your insurance is going to be high, but at least they'll give insurance. Now it's up to you to decide, or do I want to take it or don't I want to take it? Now, somebody will say, I don't want insurance. Why? Because they're liars. They're fraudsters. They do this. Insurance are not fraudsters. Not at all. But yes, I've seen people who've been declined to get insurance. They've paid, something happened, they told them, no, we're not going to pay you. Why? Because, especially again, going back to our black people. But again, not all of them. Some of them have got the blueprint. They're doing really, really well. But some of us, we don't like reading. And these people are also smart. They'll give you a book like this to read. Who wants to read all that? You don't read the small print. And I call them the devil details. So you've not read them. So you just go insurance, you called, because the thing that I always say is, seek for proper advice. Talk to an insurer. If you're taking insurance, talk to somebody. It's like you're taking a mortgage. You cannot go on the phone and just say, yeah, can I have a mortgage? You need to sit with someone. They need to talk to you. You need to see. You need to understand every detail. Before you take a house and 2 weeks later somebody comes, this wasn't a proper house. You need to understand. It's the same thing with insurance. Stop doing all this. I just went on the internet and I got. On the internet and you got, because it's cheap. Stop being lied to. We've been conditioned to just think the cheap is expensive. And somebody said, and it's not me, cheap is always expensive. Seek proper advice. Get somebody to talk to you about insurance properly before you commit. Okay? Now, it's because we do not read the small print. That is why we end up not getting paid when we take insurance. Now, when you take insurance, we run for cheap. Cheap. We forget. There's something. Accidental death. There's something called accidental death when you're taking life insurance. A lot of people don't know this. I did not even know this before I started doing insurance. That's almost 4 years ago now. I had insurance myself. I'm not going to call the company because that won't be good. But that particular company only sells accidental death. I don't work for them. They don't tell their clients that. And that's the company that I had insurance with. Before I met an advisor and told me, nah. They only sell accidental cover. But they don't tell you that. They only tell you you're taking life insurance. So you know, oh God, I have life insurance. No, it's only accidental death only. So now your children know you're paying for insurance. Your family know you're paying for insurance. You know you're paying for insurance. And then something happens to you. And then your family now goes to call insurance company. My dad or my mom or my daughter was taking insurance. And then they tell you, sorry, it was just accidental death. And you're thinking, what? Accidental what? We were never told that. No, but you signed the document. Didn't you read? No, but I did on the internet. But I went to the bank. But I went to the post. But there's no but, my friend. You're not going to get paid. Not even 1p. And these people have no mercy. Right? No mercy. So, make sure you get the correct advice before you sign that paper. Talk to the right person. Stop going to these cheap things and phoning internet. Forget that. Small print. So accidental death, there's something called that. At least I've told you that so you can go and check it out. And then when you're taking insurance, you have to disclose and be very transparent with every medical issue. It doesn't matter. Maybe you can think, if I ask you, you're thinking, no, it was just little. I don't want to say that because that's nothing. There's nothing like nothing. Every single thing is important. Every single detail. If you've seen the doctor for the last 10 years, it's still important. You might think, but that was 5 years ago. From 10 years is important. So you still need to disclose. Even if it happened 20 years ago, just disclose it. The insurance people look at it and say, this happened 20 years ago. It was only a one thing. It doesn't matter. But at least you've disclosed it. So they don't have any reason to hold you ransom and say, we're not giving you insurance because of ABCD. Okay? Now, things like smoking. Somebody might say, oh, I only smoke 1 cigarette a day, so that's not important. I'm not going to disclose that. It is important, even if you just smoke socially. Because I know some people only smoke when they're with their friends, or even some people only drink when they're with their friends. They don't really drink. Or some people only smoke when they've gone out for dinner, wherever. You still need to disclose that. You need to say, I only smoke 1 cigarette a week. You still need to disclose that. That is still smoking. Because if anything happens to you, or even if you're drinking, I know some people only drink occasionally. Probably maybe if there's a wedding, you're like, oh yeah, let me just have a drink. So just imagine, that same day that you decided to have a drink is the same day that something happens to you. They check your blood, there was alcohol in your blood. How are you going to convince anybody that, oh, it's only today when I drank? I don't really drink. How are you going to convince insurance company that you don't drink? So even if you only drink occasionally, just say it. Just say it. I drink occasionally. Unless you don't drink 100%, you don't touch alcohol, then it's different. So you have to. Now, BMI, especially if you're doing it on the internet, or even if you're doing it with me, I only take what you tell me. If you tell me that I'm 5'6" and I'm 70 kg, who am I to start arguing with you? Don't lie about your BMI. If you're 5'5" and you think, I don't want to be seen as short, and you're 5'2" and you're 100 kg, yes, that is really huge, but just say it. It doesn't matter. That's your BMI. That's who you are. That's your BMI. So don't lie about your BMI. A lot of people lie about their BMI. And somebody might say, oh, let me just say I'm 70 because that's my target in 3 months' time, which is good. I'm trying to lose weight myself. But that right now, if they ask me, I'll say what I am right now. I'm not going to give them what my target is in 3 months. Because how do you know that in those 3 months you're going to be there? Do you understand? So you have to be very transparent and disclose smoking status, medical issues, drinking status, your BMI. Those things are very important. Even if you have a target of losing your weight in 10 days, it doesn't matter. Just say what you are at that particular time. Or don't take insurance at that time. Wait until you're 3 months. If you'll still be around in 3 months, thank you, Jesus, then you take it because you've lost that weight. But don't lie about your BMI. Regardless of how small it is. You have to be honest with every details. Okay, now, can insurance people refuse somebody? Yes, 100%. They normally decline. I have so many clients that they've declined. And it breaks my heart. And some of my clients who know me know that I fought for them. Some of them have fought for them. 6 months later, I get insurance for them. I still fight. All the ones that have been declined, I put them on the side. And every month, I try again. Every month, I try again. Some of them, at the end, get it. And they know it. They know. I fight for my people. I don't leave anybody behind. Because I really feel bad when they refuse somebody. Now, what are the reasons why? Now, there's 4 things that insurance will do. But at least they will give you a choice to choose. But you also have to give insurance the choice to make. You have to give them the right information for them to make the right choice for you. That's why you say insurance, they are fraud. They're not fraud because you are the one who was frauding them first. You are frauding them first, but then they caught you on your own game. You cannot fraud insurance because these people, you can't just tell them, this is I'm sick, and then they just say, okay, take the money. No, they're giving you money. And remember, it's not only you saying you want the money. There are probably 1 million people who have phoned them and say we want money. Almost 1 million. Do you know how much money that is? It's a lot. So they have to investigate before they give you money. So in their investigation, if they find that you withheld something, you're in trouble. They will not give you anything. So give them the right information for them to make the right choice for you. Okay? And then when they make the right choice, this is 4 things that they're going to come back with. 1, they're going to decline. According to the information you gave them, they'll come back and say, declined. Now, when they decline, at least they always give the reason why. And they always say, we are giving this client 6 months. Within 6 months, this is the reason why we declined it. Within 6 months, we are going to review this client again. So within 6 months, they'll review it. If the situation is still the same as when they said no, totally now they'll decline. If the situation has changed, they will reconsider. But because they've told you as well as a client why they declined it, you need to work on whatever they declined you why. You need to work on it. If you still want insurance. Some people be like, I'm not bothered. It's fine. I'm just living my life the way I'm living my life. That's fine as well. Okay? Because everybody has a choice to make in their journey. Number 2, insurance will give you, but they will exclude some things that you disclosed. You see, they're still giving you a choice. That's number 2. They will give you, but they will exclude whatever you disclose. They will exclude it, but they'll still give you insurance. Okay? 3, they'll increase your premiums. Now, if I gave you a quote, for instance, I gave you a quote and I said, you can pay £30 a month. And then insurance looks at all the information that you disclosed. They are called underwriters. So the underwriters, they check all the information that you disclosed, and then they put something called rating or loading, or they top up from 25. Normally, it's from 25% to 300%. That's a lot of money. So if I gave you a quote and it's £30, and the insurance now load you with 100%, that means you're going to pay your £30 plus the 100% that they've put on top of your £30. That's called loading, or they'll rate it higher because of what you've disclosed. Number 4, they'll give you insurance with that £30. Maybe if I gave you £30, they'll just give you with that £30 because there's nothing. The information you gave them, the underwriters will look at it and say, yeah, this is minor, this is minor, this is minor. It's okay. Let's just give the person insurance without anything attached to it. So those are 4 things the insurance people do. But you see, the good thing is they've given you a choice. They've given you a choice to decide, 6 months, let me work on it. And then in 6 months, I'll come back. They've given you a choice to say, okay, they're giving you insurance, but they are excluding this and this and this. Are you still going to take it? They've given you a choice to say, no, I don't want it. If they're excluding this, it's fine. I don't want insurance. Or it's okay, I'll still take it. They've given you insurance to say they're loading you with 100% or 200 or 25 or 75. You have a choice of saying, that's too much money, I'll take it. I'll still take it anyway because I want insurance. Or it's too much money, I won't take it. Or can you reduce what you gave me, Lydia, so that even with the loading, it's not that expensive. They've given you a choice. Or number 4, they give insurance. So voila, you're happy. But at least you've disclosed every information. You've been transparent to the insurance company. And they also, because you are transparent with the information, you've given them good information to make a choice for you, and they've given you the right choices. 4 things, which is now up to you to decide, what am I going to do with this information? But if you lie, they catch you in your lie, and then you say, insurance people are dodgy. You are the dodgy one. You are the fraudster because you thought you want to fraud insurance. Nah, you can't fraud these people. They are smarter than you, my friend. And the other thing I always hear, especially Christians, they make me laugh. They always say, Jesus is my assurance. Or Jesus is my insurance. Jesus is my insurance. My friend, Jesus is not your insurance. Jesus is your assurance. There's a difference between insurance and assurance. Now, assurance, which is Jesus, assurance is something that does not expire. Go and check it out. Insurance is something that expires. And that's why you have insurance for a term of 15 years, 20 years, 25, 30, it expires. Jesus is there forever, so it doesn't expire. So Jesus is not your insurance, it's your assurance. So get your own insurance. That is insurance. Get it. And even God himself said he has given us wisdom. God has given us wisdom. And he said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And he said, a wise man, listen to this, wise, not a foolish man, a wise man. He didn't just say a man. The wise had to be there. A wise man leaves inheritance for his children's children. Not just your children, but your grandchildren. A wise man. Not just a man. And when they say man, don't be happy and say, they said man, so me, I'm a woman. I'm excluded. No. Man and woman, everything on top. We are all inside. Man, woman, you're in. A wise man or a wise woman leaves inheritance for their children's children. And be wise. So if you want for any more information, I know that was too many things to take in. It was too much information, but I just had to come and tell you guys that myself. I didn't want to have a discussion. We've had discussion, insurance discussion, because some things get lost in the mist. I just wanted to talk to you through slowly, one by one. So if you have any questions, and I know I'll have so many people who will ask me so many questions, because some people disagree with what I'm saying. Some people will agree with what I'm saying. But whether you disagree or agree, this is the fact of the life. We need to get the blueprint. Look, if you meet all this other community, you hear somebody say, oh, my nan gave me this, my mom left me this, my dad left me this. How many of us as in a black community will say the same? We need to change the narratives. We need to change this. The other day I saw it on Facebook. Someone said that as children, we need to look after our parents, which is true, 100%. But why can't we now start changing that narrative in that story? Why can't we leave inheritance for our children, like the Bible said, so that when we are older, we don't have to give them that pressure that they have to look after us? Why can't we look after them and leave something behind for them? So even when we are older, we are enjoying, and they're enjoying too. It's 100% yes, we need to look after our parents. But what if you don't have? What if you don't have, and your parents are struggling, and you're struggling, everybody's struggling? What happens? You'll even feel bad to see your mom or your dad struggling. And they are putting pressure on you because they're looking at you thinking, you need to help us. You need to help us. No, it shouldn't be like that. We need to change the story. We need to change the narratives. Why is it that this other community have got it, but us as black community, we are still struggling with the generational curse, generational poverty? Why? We need to change our mindset. We need to get out of that box and say, you know what? We are awake now. We have got the blueprint. We are here now we are here in the same level with you guys. We need to change our narratives. Now, for more information, if you want more information in regards to this, please, guys, get in touch with me. And somebody might say, oh, I don't want Lydia to know my story, because I'm in the Kenyan community. I know a lot of people know me. And someone might think, oh, I don't want Lydia to know my business. Let me tell you, the first thing with insurance is we have to sign private and confidentiality. I will not lose my job because I went and blabbed about somebody's condition, about somebody's this, about somebody's that. Lose my job. I have 3 children as a single parent that I'll have to look after. And I have my own life, and that is not my business. Whatever you have, that is not my business. Whatever you have is between you and your God. He has nothing to do with me. My job is to make sure that I insure you, I give you the best advice, and I insure you the best way. That is my business. But again, if you just feel like, I don't think I want to talk to Lydia about this, that's fine, 100%. Please make sure you call the right provider. And I don't want to say who is the best provider, because that won't be fair either, because every provider have the best thing that they do, and this one that don't do. Some providers are very good at BMI. In fact, there's one provider again, and I love them so much, and I won't call their name. Your BMI, they don't really mind. They give you insurance whether your BMI is high or not. They're very good at that. Their loading is not very high. They will still put a loading. So don't think, if I have big BMI, let me just go to this company. They'll still put a loading, but very less. It's not big. And that's only one company. And then we also have one company again that's the only company that covers you. If you take life insurance only, it covers you and your children, because it's a family insurance. That one too is only one. We have another one that when it comes to payout, they're very good. They don't even ask you for any documentation. They'll just give you. And two, I don't want to say that, because somebody will say, hey, the client was with this insurance. They'll give you. That's also another one. We have other providers that are very, very good when it comes to payout. They don't check this. They don't ask too many questions. They just pay out. So if you feel like I don't want to be with Lydia, make sure you find out the best provider out there and get the best policy in place. And make sure every advice that I gave today, things like disclosure, make sure you disclose everything when you're talking to the insurance provider. Don't leave anything behind. Okay? So now, and if you're talking to us as well, don't think that you can just tell me some things and leave some things out and tell the insurance company, because they'll come back and tell me and say, oh, your client disclosed this and this and this, and because of that, we're not going to give them insurance. So don't make that mistake. We always sign private and confidentiality. So whatever you tell us is 100% private. If you hear it out big with somebody, just call the insurance company. Okay, and that's why I'll give you their number. So now, I work for a company called Precise Protect. If you want to check it out, if you say, oh, let me just check out this website first before I commit, I want to make sure that they are not dodgy, they're not in Kenya, somewhere in the background in Isili. You know, that's where I grew up, in a place called Isili. The company is not behind my father's house in Isili. All these companies are based in the UK. I work for every single insurance company you may think of. Just think of the one you saw on TV today. I work for them. Just think of the one you heard in the radio today when you're driving. I work for them. Just think of the one you saw on the board today when you came out of your house and you saw an advert. I work for them. So I work for every single one of them. And I know all their good and their bad. Every single one of them. And I'm not here to market them. That's why I'm not going to call their names. But I work for a company called Precise Protect. So you can check it out, www.preciseprotect.com. You can check it out. We have all our information there. And in that website, we have the head office number. We have the head office address. We have everything. So if you want to phone the head office and ask them, does Lydia really work for Precise Protect? They'll tell you all about my Lydia, and they'll tell you my integrity. They'll tell you how I do business. Okay, so if you want to find out. And Precise Protect, we are regulated by FCA, a Financial Conduct Authority, and you know that FCA is the same body that regulates the banks. So your money is safe. We are regulated by FCA as Precise Protect. Okay, and if you want to email me, you can email me on L.Olet, which is my surname, OLET. So L.Olet at preciseprotect.co.uk if you want to email me. So that's L.Olet at preciseprotect.co.uk. If you want to phone me, my number, this is my business number, so I don't really know it offhand, so I'm going to read it. So my business number is 07414 944 464. I'll repeat that. My business number is 07414 944 464. I know some people have my private number. You can also call me on my private number, because anytime I give this, my work number, nobody even calls me from there. I don't even know where I got it. Because every single person calls me on my personal number, because a lot of people know it there. Or if you want to contact me on Facebook, my Facebook is the same as my name. I don't owe anybody, so my name is my name. I'm not running away from anybody's debt. So it's Lydia Tet Olet, just like my name. Lydia Tet Olet. You can message me there as well. So there's so many ways to get in touch. And if you just want to talk to insurance company as well, you can talk to them. You're free. So my friends, before I sign out, I would have loved a Christian song for me to sing and dance, because I was sick and now I'm well. I don't know if my producer will do that for me. But before I go, I'll just say, guys, be wise. Remember what the Bible says. A wise man leaves inheritance for his children. The Bible did not just say a man, a wise man. So if you're wise, think. Okay? So until then, love you guys. I'm here every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. UK time, 9:30 p.m. Kenyan time, every Wednesday. And like I always say, it can only be God. Love ya.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them. At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there